Hello, my dear friends. Welcome or welcome back. My name is Sarita. Thanks for joining me this morning and Merry Christmas. If you are celebrating, today is Christmas Eve morning, and I have a very special legacy edition video for you today. I wanted to do one just about some of those old standbys that are not new, so they don't have the buzz anymore. We don't talk about them quite as much or whatever else, but they still kind of deserve to be mentioned and remembered and burned at this time of year. So this is kind of my first annual Christmas Legacy Edition video. And I am here to talk to you about candles that I feel as though I can't be without during the Christmas season, regardless of what comes out that's new, that's flashy, or whatever else. I am gonna be honest with you. Christmas is actually, it has never traditionally been a huge candle or home fragrance push for me. And I know that sounds like absurd, but I think I come from an enormous family. I'm the oldest of 6, actually. And our house was like crazy, like teeming with energy and like chaos for the entire month of December when I was growing up. And we always had live Christmas trees in our house. So we would get that live Christmas tree for the most part shortly after Thanksgiving. So the entire month of December, that live Christmas tree would be up. And my mother was a baker, a big time baker. So, and then when my sisters and I got old enough, we do a lot of baking ourselves. So the house, frankly, was always smelling like tree and cinnamon and baked products, etc., etc. By the way, that's part of the reason I'm not like a huge gourmand person, because I do a ton of baking myself. And so it weirds me out to like have a blueberry muffin candle burning, but no blueberry muffins to consume, if that makes any sense. Also, I do think the most authentic possible scent of blueberry muffins there can be is when you have actual blueberry muffins cooking and baking in your oven. Anyway, close parentheses on that. There was so much going on, and you know how it is with like the boxes of holiday decor that like your parents would like bring up from the basement or down from the attic. And the house would just be full of things, full of presents. And then with all of those smells too, that to be honest, to have a candle burning would have almost been a little bit of a waste of like a special candle. And a little bit, if you know the idiom, like bringing coals to Newcastle, because like the house already is maxed out at like amazing holiday fragrances. And so we just tended to not do a whole lot of Christmas fragrances. And because of that, I have not done as many either. I will burn a lot during like the fall and autumn period. Like it feels wrong to not have like a pumpkin spice candle and all of those different autumn ones from like September to November. But then in December, everything just switches into this like high gear in terms of like home decor and home fragrance, just the natural variety that really kind of Christmas candles got lost in my family and for me. So this is a little bit new to me. I am starting like a new tradition. I have less people in my house now than when I was growing up. And I do have like this space now. I haven't had a live tree in my house for like years. I do really want those kinds of smells in my house now. And in some ways, they're a little bit of a like surrogate for like the smell of a Christmas tree, although I still do a ton of baking. So there is that. But as I aforementioned, I'm not really a gourmand burner anyway. But those tree fragrances, those spice fragrances, those cranberry fragrances, etc. So I have been putting together slowly over the last few years a few candles that are just kind of like my standby Christmas ones. And then I kind of fill it out and round it out with new ones that I come across, new ones that come out, etc., etc. But this legacy edition will be for those ones that are like basically in my Hall of Fame. They're the ones that I really want to take time to burn every December. And for many of them, I think it's kind of a special too to be like the week right up to Christmas. Let those be like the really, really special ones. The ones that you know you love, that take you to a place, that take you to a memory space, that like fill your heart. You really want those close to you in like that final week before Christmas. I have like special like CDs or albums that because I listen to Christmas music like the entire month, I will only listen to like this album the week before Christmas. I actually even have one that I only listen to on Christmas Eve. It's like that special. So like in that same spirit, here are some of the candles that I'm burning this week and that I will be burning every year in the week leading up to Christmas. I will probably, if I don't re-record a legacy edition next year, it's because the candles haven't changed in the Hall of Fame. But every time I induct a new candle into the Hall of Fame, I will re-record the legacy video. How does that sound? All right, so let's get started. Honestly, this is in no particular order, and I only have a handful. Basically, I have, it's kind of like something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue. There are like three main genres here for candles. One is conceptual spicy. One is like orange pomander-ish kind of. One is a strong tree. Oh no, I forgot one of them. Hold please, I'm gonna have to go and grab it. Okay, I'm back. I can't believe I missed this candle. I scurried around and like grabbed all of my little candles that were so special to me. And I thought I had gotten all of them, but I did miss one. And it's good because I haven't burned it yet this year, and it's gonna get burned today, if you know what I mean. Okay, so yeah, I've got an orange pomander, and I've been very honest the last month about being super partial to candy cane, white chocolate combinations at this time of year. So I've got one of those. Like I said, a couple conceptuals and one very Christmassy tree one. So those are kind of, I mean, they're obvious categories, but that's what we're gonna do. Okay, so let's talk about actually the candy cane since we just had a moment here. Let's talk about the special candy cane and white chocolate contribution. And for me, it is this, which is Voluspa crushed candy cane. And this is a tin that I picked up, by the way. I've said this before, but I'm gonna say it again, especially as I go reviewing into next week. This is your best bet. If you're curious at all in Voluspa or you like Voluspa, please get these shallow tins. You see those 3 wicks? That's what you need. You do need multiple wicks for Voluspa, and these tins are not very affordably priced, more affordably priced than their regular like embossed glass vessels. You've got the 3 wicks here, and yes, you're gonna have less burn time, but you have a much better chance for strength and throw in this one. Yay. Oh my gosh, I love this. I love this. This one doesn't actually have any of the notes listed. And to be honest, I should have looked this up, but online, I think it's like peppermint and sugar, and I don't even know if they mention vanilla or marshmallow, and they definitely don't mention white chocolate. But I think this comes across as a very beautiful peppermint white chocolate. There is something up in the top of it that is a little bit, almost a tiny bit perfumey. Like it could be an amber maybe, and a peppermint and a white chocolate. So it is Not quite as gourmand as maybe some people would like, but it definitely gives it a very elevated air. And look at that packaging. I mean, it's just so stunning. It's so stunning. I came across this, I don't know, maybe about 6 or 7 years ago at like an anthropology store, and just fell in love with it. And they had these little glass like macaron ones that were like striped like this, and I gave them to all my friends. And for me, this is just so gorgeous. I don't know that I've actually burned one of them. I know that their 3 wicks burn well. I haven't actually burned it in this format. I've burned it in those like macaron ones. It had almost no strength and throw. Like you had to be sitting right next to it, basically like burying your nose in it. But that doesn't detract away from the fragrance itself. And I'm so happy to have gotten it in this format where it's still really, really beautiful. And I know I'm gonna get better strength and throw. This right now is in the Legacy Hall of Fame, but I'll tell you what's chasing it. On its heels is this one that I just reviewed from Kringle, and that is Candy Cane Cashmere. Yes. So Candy Cane Cashmere is a very similar scent here to crushed candy cane, but whereas this one goes up a little bit in the higher range, it's got a very like high perfumey kind of amber with the candy cane and white chocolate. This goes candy cane, white chocolate, and then low range. So this one is allegedly, it has a lot of tree notes in it. But I would say that what comes across is something that's vaguely woody and grounding, so that it goes lower range. And this is gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. The packaging and the marketing for me makes this a little bit more of a January candle, or at least very easily a January candle, which is why I hesitate to make that in the Hall of Fame. This one just comes out in this amazing holiday packaging, and oh, gosh, it's just so gorgeous. And I need one of these in my holiday like legacy. This kind of has to take the cake for me. It's so stunning. It's so special. And yes, do I wish Voluspa would spend as much time and care with strength and throw and quality of their candle wax performance as they do packaging and marketing? 100% yes, I do. But if there were ever a time to really buy something or prefer something because of its packaging and its marketing and its aesthetic, it has to be during the holiday season. So Voluspa Crushed Candy Cane is here. I'm gonna link everything down below, by the way, if it is available. All right, let's go to our tree fragrance. No surprise, the tree fragrance that is my legacy is Frasier Fir from Thymes. And every year it kind of comes out in a different packaging. This particular one is only 6.5 ounces, but it usually comes out in a lot of different formats and packagings, although some will be like very classic from year to year. This is actually just a single wick. And this is a very expensive candle. So Thymes is it's an older company, and frankly, I think their scents are a little bit heavy and a little bit dated, but they definitely cater toward a very like old money premium home fragrance kind of demographic. Thymes Frasier Fir, from what I can tell, looks like their far away bestseller, and it has been for I think decades, and for good reason. This one, oh gosh, it's just so gorgeous. This is so pure. It's so perfect. I mean, this is a candle where you just really feel as though you are putting your face, putting your nose into a bowl of like freshly picked like fir needles. Ah, it's so beautiful. I mean, this is Christmas tree par excellence. It's deep, it's rich, it's intense. There's something like heady about this fragrance. It really is amazing. And there's a reason why it's such a runaway bestseller. By the way, this little 6.5 is $24. 6.5. Oh, I've got it also. I just bought one in a votive. Look at that. That's the votive right here. And I think this one is 2 ounces. It's only 2. Yeah, 2 ounces. And I got it for like 16 bucks. What do I say about Frasier Fir? Well, first of all, what I want to say, and I just said this in a video ago, which I did not realize, is Kringle's Christmas candle, which is also, I think, Kringle's, like, it has to be one of their top bestsellers, if not their bestseller, is a dupe for Frasier Fir. I did not know that, and I don't spend as much time with Christmas candles as I should, and I just did not put 2 and 2 together. I was not smelling them anywhere in conjunction with each other. And it is true that this Kringle candle is extremely similar to Frasier Fir. Extremely. As I mentioned before, Mike Kittredge was online and he recommended this to someone who was looking for a dupe for Frasier Fir because it's so expensive, and said basically, does Kringle have anything close to Frasier Fir? And the CEO of the company was like, yeah, Christmas is the dupe for Frasier Fir. He said it's exactly Frasier Fir and it's stronger and better. And I feel really bad now because I didn't see, before he responded, I responded and I was like, there is no dupe for Frasier Fir. I know it's expensive, but it's flawless. You just have to buy it. And then he said that. And I felt really bad. And now that I smell them together, I'm like, I feel even worse because he's absolutely correct that this one is very similar to Frasier Fir. I've only burned a few Frasier Fir candles. And the performance is okay. That being said, I usually buy them in very small vessels because they're so expensive. So have I always been terribly impressed with the performance? Not really. I mean, as a premium candle it has better scent oils than like if for instance, if Bath and Body Works poured like a 2 ounce or something, like how expressive, how powerful would that be? I don't know. So I've always been satisfied with it in that respect. But now I'm thinking, if you couldn't get Frasier Fir, you could definitely get Christmas from Kringle. I'm going to leave Frasier Fir in my Legacy Edition because it is the OG. And I do want to give high marks for like the original candle. Like, I appreciate that like Kringle duped it, but they duped it. You know what I mean? And they duped it because it's so insanely popular and an amazing fragrance. This does have a little bit of like musk on the bottom of it that is not completely obvious when you're burning it, just because the freshness and the authenticity of the Frasier Fir in a botanical way is, as it should be, the leading lady. And so the musk is very much supporting cast. I do have to say with the Kringle one is a little bit more stereophonic than the Frasier Fir, although it's very similar. And it does seem to have more elements and more layers to it, which may indeed make it a stronger performer. Between us, I think it may be a little tiny bit at the expense of the freshness and authenticity of that Frasier Fir, because the Frasier Fir in here, like I said, it's like you're putting your nose in a Christmas tree, whereas this one is that way, but it's a little bit more airbrushed. There are a lot of more obvious elements to it. It may even be a more balanced candle. And I have to say, I mean, I've burned this one about halfway down, this Kringle Christmas. I wasn't particularly impressed with the performance on it either. And I do think that upon it being burned, the musk and the other elements came out more strongly than the fir did. This is 100% soy. I don't know if that makes any difference, but we've belabored this long enough. It is a fantastic fragrance, whether it's Christmas from Kringle, whether it's Frasier Fir. If you don't have access to a Frasier Fir near you or you don't want to spend that kind of absurd amount of money on this kind of a candle and getting it a size that, you know, guarantees that you've got a presence in your house, then I really highly recommend to you Kringle's Christmas, which will be around forever. And they usually have it very well stocked and well available during the Christmas and holiday season. So I will link both of those down below. Frz Your Fur or Kringle Christmas is my personal favorite in terms of like a traditional Christmas tree experience. Runners up would probably be actually Under the Christmas Tree by Bath and Body Works is actually quite good. And Kringle has a ton of other tree fragrances as well, many of which are very good as well. And then there are a couple, like even Yankee candles that are good. Mistletoe has a great like Christmas tree greenery kind of smell to it. I think holiday garland or holiday wreath, etc. I mean, and look, you can go to CVS and get a Christmas tree fragrance. They are all over the place. And so it is kind of hard to like really narrow down one as like the one that you would just burn every year. You just would, you know, and it's like top of the top for you. This is like the angel on the top of the Christmas tree. But I really think Frz Your Fur has to take it, AKA Kringle Christmas. All right, let's go to Orange Pomander. And I am actually not an angel. Now I've got angel in my mind. I am not really a huge orange fragrance kind of person. I'm not sure all the reasons for that. I actually love citrus. I love citrus at all times. It's like my favorite fruit, but I definitely love it at Christmas too. It's very in season in various parts of the world. And so that's part of the reason why oranges are associated, or citrus fruits, with the holiday season. And they become like inseparable to it. So I do love citrus, but for some reason, maybe it's just I haven't found that many candles that for me land well in terms of being a citrus. I did randomly find one about 2 weeks ago that I love so much and think is so spectacular that I'm just gonna go ahead and put it into this legacy video. And that is Agraria Bitter Orange. Agraria Bitter Orange. I got one of these like little votives here from Marshall's a few weeks ago, and I had my eye on it. We've got a really fancy schmancy boutique store here in Charlottesville where they sell Frz Your Fur from Thymes, and they sell a ton of Agraria candles too. This was one of the ones that I've had my eye on for a really long time. And then when it was at Marshall's for $10 for this like votive, which admittedly is I think about 3.4 ounces on this one. So it's a substantial votive, and it's a lovely one with the glass. When I saw this for $10 at Marshall's, I was like, yes. And it's perfect. It is the season. I am going to burn this one and see how it does. And it is fantastic. The strength and throw on this one was quite good. I mean, I want to say that it was in the 6 realm at least, if not more. And that's coming from a 3.4 1 wick votive candle. This is an intense candle. It's deep, it's rich, and it's super duper authentic. You've got a lot of rind here, a lot of pith. There is, I mean, it's perfect that it's called bitter orange. There is just something very sharp and authentic about this. Like, it's not like a soft, juicy kind of orange. It's like a sharp one. And there is a heavy hit of cloves in here as well. And so the cloves with that like amazing orange rind and the zest, it's perfect for this holiday season. You could probably burn it at other times, but with that clove combination, you cannot do better than this. I really don't think you can. Now, I know Melanie, Mr. Kong's mom, just came out with her celebrated Pomander candle. I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be a bit before I get my hands on that candle. First of all, because it's sold out. We don't know if or when it's gonna come back. It'll probably come back, I mean, for sure next year, but I don't know if it'll come out before that point or in what kind of numbers. And to be honest, I am kind of being a little bit more thoughtful the way that I'm making Kringle purchases right now. So I'm not right now like running out to get every candle that comes down the pike. I would need to have a rather extensive order planned for Kringle to like add that on, and it would have to be available. So the stars will have to be aligned for me to get that candle from Melanie, but I really, really want to for sure, even though orange pomander is not necessarily my thing. Close second for this category, or one at least that I considered, is Kringle Away in a Manger. And this is so apropos because, as Melanie told us all, this was actually one of the candles that was formulated in the entire process of her collab. So this was one of the particular fragrances that they mocked up for her, and she ended up passing on as she was formulating her orange pomander candle, but told them, this is really special, you should do something with it. Thank you, Melanie. And they came out with Away in a Manger last year, and it was such a successful candle for them, and I really love it. This one has a very strong high orange clove. I do have to say this goes a little bit more juicy, like juicy orange rather than orange rind, but it does have like a juicy orange and spice, like i.e. clove connection. And then it's got other things around it that almost make it go, I want to say that there's maybe some amber or sandalwood in this. This is one of those candles, although it's very citrusy and very biting, that could be burnt at any time of the year. And I said this when I reviewed it. Unfortunately, with the marketing Away in a Manger, they like really locked it into the Christmas season. But this is actually a fragrance that could go for so many seasons. I burned this, I think, in January and February of last year. And I will probably do so again. And because of that, I passed on this as the Legacy Edition one, and I'm going with Bitter Orange for Agraria, which to me smells more pomander-like than this particular scent. It's just so orange zest and rind and clove and just no fillers. There's hardly anything else in this candle. And so for me, it's just the perfect Christmas one. This would be a good Christmas in July as well. There's almost something a little bit vaguely beachy. Okay, so that's orange pomander down. All right, we've got now two Christmas conceptuals that I can't be without. So I'll leave the best for last and the OG for last. This is the one that I ran and got. This is Illume's OG. So we've talked about Illume on this channel. I really like Illume a lot. I think it's a Minnesota company. And Illume has gotten more and more popular and more available. So not only do they have a brisk presence on like Amazon, but you are beginning to see these, or you should be able to begin seeing these in just regular grocery stores too. They've always had a good presence in places like, I think West Elm, various different like higher end furniture or decor stores. They've always had a good presence in like high-end grocery stores or boutiques. Now you're beginning to see them kind of all over the place, and I've seen them at Marshall's and TJ Maxx as well. So this for me, they have a few holiday candles, and for me personally, this is the best one. So originally they only had three, and the three were, I think, Woodfire, Winter White, and Balsam and Cedar, I think is what it's called, Balsam and Cedar. And Balsam and Cedar was like more of their Christmas tree one. And then Woodfire is a very authentic, like smoky wood kind of fragrance. And then Winter White, which is a Christmas conceptual. I don't really like Balsam and Cedar very much. I don't think it's got a lot of other things in it, and not just a Christmas tree and not just a balsam. And I think they even say there's like floral in it and various other things. And it's weirdly sweet. I don't care for it very much, but this Winter White is everything. I love Winter White, and I will always have it. This was one of the special ones. Friends, I bought this off of Amazon. They were running, I think I got it for like 20 bucks. Look at that. This one is a single wick, but you can actually get them even bigger that have like multiple wicks. Yeah. I can't remember how many ounces this particular one is. Oh, this is 22 ounces. 22 ounces on this one. All right, so here's the blurb. Frosted cypress and white amber are infused with bright peppercorn, cardamom, and citrus spice to evoke the essence of a crisp winter's day. This is amazing. Oh my gosh. I mean, this is a true like Christmas conceptual, but there's a real refined nature to it. So this is the kind of thing you would kind of expect from Bath and Body Works, but instead of it smelling like it could also be a shower gel, this one smells like it's got those like higher, more sophisticated perfume notes. This says white amber, so it does have like a musky or high musk, high amber kind of background to it, but in the foreground is that amazing, what do they say, cypress? It's the cypress and then biting spices. Look at that, peppercorn, cardamom, citrus spice. So again, you're getting that like orange pomander with the clove. And like I said, the cypress, that like kind of balsam like fragrance is in equal measure to like the citrus and the spices. And then surrounding all of it is this amazing like high-end like perfume, deep musky intrigue. Yeah. This fragrance is both warm and cool at the same time. And I can't explain to you how it is that, it just is. There is something cool about the particular fragrance notes, the pepper, the cardamom, various others. They like can be warming spices, but here in conjunction, they called it a frosted cypress. I don't even know what's giving it like the frosted nature. I'm almost wondering if there's a touch of eucalyptus or something like that in it. There is something cool and austere about this candle, and at the same time warm. And it is just, it's amazing. It's an amazing Christmas candle. Could you burn this in January? Yes, you could. Yes, you could. But with the orange pomander and the cardamom spices, like it just feels zesty and holiday-ish at the same time as outdoorsy, at the same time as feeling cool winter's day. I mean, it's just an amazing candle. For me, Winter White is the standout of those initial 3 Illume candles. Since then, they've come out with a lot of other holiday offerings. I don't think they're quite as good. They're not as bold as those original 3 are. And like I said, of the original 3, this is just far and away the superior offering in my opinion. And I will never be without it. So Illume Winter White, I do believe it is their best seller in terms of their Christmas offerings. And I have seen it 1,000,001 places as well. And generally in more formats than either the balsam or the wood fire one. Although the wood fire one is a great experience, and I would say a close second. Well, not a close second, but a second. All right, final one, OG of OGs. This is Yankee Candle Hollyberry. I love this fragrance. I love this candle. And for me, this is like Christmas Eve candle. This is Christmas night. This is like the special of specialist times in a very special month is Hollyberry. And that's partly because this is an OG candle company. It's the candle company I grew up with personally. And it's just an amazing and complex and original fragrance. And it's really spectacular. My little sister burns candles too, but she has much more, we'll just put it this way, she has much more simple gourmandy tastes. And she doesn't like most of my candles. She thinks they're like so weird, whatever else. I had her smell this one and I was bracing myself for her to be like, ew, it's so weird. And she's like, that's really nice. So I was so surprised. But it goes to show you when there's a candle that like people like who just have completely different taste, burn candles in completely different ways and still love this one, this is like a spectacular candle. So, gosh, it's gorgeous. Hollyberry has been around so long for Yankee Candle. This was made in their very earliest years, like back in the like 80s, I think. And the blurb on it and the scent notes have always been very rudimentary. And I don't know why they didn't update them over the years. I think originally they just kind of gave something where it was like red and yellow currants and hollyberries or something like that. I mean, I think that's like the entire blurb on it. I don't think they gave anything more than that. And so I wish that there was a more robust like fragrance note list for this one, because I want to know what's in it, frankly. This candle is very clove forward. It's a clove forward candle. It's not quite as biting as they have their old school ribbon candy candle. Their very oldest one was a very strong clove candle, because I guess ribbon candy back in the day, at least one of the big varieties was just like clove candy. Now, like, kids don't like it, just wouldn't be a candy flavor now, but in olden times, like, you know, back when they got oranges in their stockings and called it a Merry Christmas, they also sucked on cloves and thought that that was candy. So I actually have a Yankee Candle Black Band ribbon candy that is like a clove candle. Like, it looks like it smells like you are inside of a clove and there are cloves in your mouth that you're chewing at the same time. Like, it's an incredibly intense clove experience. This one is a lot softer than that one is, but the top notes and the most intense notes of this candle are indeed clove. And then there is something very fruity about it. And yeah, it does kind of go in a cranberry currant direction. And there is smokiness. There's a smokiness to this candle as well. It's not just cloves, it's a little bit of smoky, a little bit of something embery or charred, you know, without it going full board like fireplace or something like that. And there is something soft and sweet, but kind of in a non-gourmand way. Like, I'm wanting to say that it's like maybe an amber or something. And it's just gorgeous. It's just gorgeous. So the things that I'm picking on mostly are like the clove and the soft currant. And then something which I think is, it's warm and glowy and maybe a touch creamy, but I think it might be an amber. I think it might be an amber. But again, it's underneath the clove, underneath the currant. And the entire candle is just, it's just special. I don't know how else to describe it. If you have Hollyberry or you've burned it or you know more about it, would you please tell me, even if it's just, hey, mine smells like this, or I think there might be this note in it, because we need to like group think. We need to group contribute what is in this amazing candle to fill out the scent list, the very slim scent list that Yankee Candle put up for this candle. It's incredible. It's been discontinued. It's come back as a returning favorite. It's this, it's that. I don't actually know if it's available right now. I will check on the Yankee Candle website and I'll definitely link it below if it is. That said, it is, I'm positive that if they have it, it's in their like classical tumbler style, which is a one wick. And frankly, I think they're driving it into the ground. I mean, those one wick classics, they just have very, very little strength or throw at this point. You're much better. It's a much better experience. Their like new modern signature line with the two wicks. Those actually perform decently, if not more than decently. These don't, and they are putting most of their returning favorites in this particular format, and I just can't recommend it, although it should smell the same. So if you wanted to smell it and give me your 2 cents about what it is that you're smelling, I would love that. I really would. And for me, this just is one of the most special Christmas candles of all time. And it's one that I try to reserve for like a Christmas Eve night, like something really, really special. So that's it, my friends. This is your Legacy Edition. Right now, my Hall of Fame is Hollyberry, Illume, Winter White, Agraria, Bitter Orange, Thymes, Frasier Fir or Kringle, Christmas, and Voluspa, Crushed Candy Cane right here. Those are the ones that are in my Hall of Fame right now, the ones that I would repurchase and the ones that I would try to burn, especially in the week leading up to Christmas, no matter what. Although I have to say, Hollyberry is getting harder and harder to find in like an OG format, because I'm really not interested in getting a new one that like it has no performance. But they are very highly prized, and even on like the, you know, eBay and Mercari markets, very expensive when they come available. And I watch all of them to see like, you know, if I can get another one or get some backups, because currently I think this is the only one I've got. And I ration it and only burn it on Christmas Eve night. All right, my friends, I hope that you're having an amazing Christmas Eve, and I want you to have an amazing Christmas. If I get a little bit of time, I would like to record another video either for today or for tomorrow, and it is going to be Christmas 2023, the ones that got away. Which I think I'm also going to start doing for the fall season too. There are just so many candles that like you have and you wanted to get to and you wanted to burn, and you just finally come to the realization, to the acceptance, to the resignation that that candle is not happening for you in this season. And it's gonna have to be next season. But I wanna acknowledge them and be like, hey, I was gonna burn this, this, and this, and it just didn't happen. Here they are, and hopefully we'll see them next year. So I'm gonna do that to kind of wrap out this Christmas season. And then obviously I'll have some lingering reviews as well next week. We will also have a year in review for Bath & Body Works and for Kringle, and especially in the case of Bath & Body Works, we will have the lineup of all of the best new candles of 2023 that have been nominated and which one won, in my opinion. I will see you guys in the next one.